carbon dioxide. So we have been discussing this carbon dioxide. It is entering the plant cell using this stomata. So how is this carbon dioxide important to the photosynthesis? How important this carbon dioxide for the photosynthesis? We are going to understand this by an activity. We are going to take two parts, part A and part B. So we are taking the two parts, part A and B, and these two parts we are going to test them. So one part will be control, which means that we are giving one part carbon dioxide, another part we are not giving the carbon dioxide. Let us see how we are going to do that. So first, in order to remove all the reserved food materials in them, we are going to take out all the starch which is present in them, because we need to clear that they don't have any more food materials present in them. We need to have a fresh photosynthesis for them. So first we are going to remove all the starch. How are we going to remove that reserved food materials? We are going to place them in the dark. So if you keep these plants in the dark, these plants, whatever the food materials they have, they are utilizing them because they cannot perform photosynthesis in the dark. So they are able to take the whatever the reserved food material present in them, that reserved food material is utilized by these plants and they are not able to perform photosynthesis. So in the dark, they consume all the starch, all the reserved food materials present in them. So they don't have any more food. So they are completely vanishing away with their reserved food materials. So later on, we are bringing them to the experiment. So here what we are going to do is, one plant we are not providing the carbon dioxide, but how are we doing that? So we are taking potassium hydroxide. So potassium hydroxide, what it does is, it takes the carbon dioxide and it does not give, means it is a strong binding. It performs strong binding. It performs a strong binding with the carbon dioxide, and this potassium hydroxide leads to potassium carbonate. So it reacts with the carbon dioxide very rapidly, and this potassium hydroxide, that is KOH, and this carbon dioxide, that is CO2. So KOH plus CO2, it forms carbonate. So that is potassium carbonate. So this potassium hydroxide is taken next to the plant so that the plant is not having any carbon dioxide available for it. Okay, so that we are going to take in the part A. In the part B, we are not doing anything. We are just giving the carbon dioxide as such. So in one part, we are not giving carbon dioxide. In the other part, we are giving the carbon dioxide. So let us go further. So here we are closing them with a bell jar. This jar is resembling the bell shape, so it is a bell jar. And this bell jar is heavy. We also have in our lab, and this bell jar is covering these plants. So it is covering plants so that there is no more air getting inside. There is no more air getting inside. In order to even ensure that, we are going to seal them. We are going to seal them using the Vaseline. So this is a Vaseline. Using this Vaseline, they are sealing here. So Vaseline does not allow air to get inside. So whatever air present inside, only that air is utilized by the plants. So in the part A, remember, we are taking the potassium hydroxide, which is not letting the plants to take carbon dioxide. So this carbon dioxide is not available for the part A plant. The plant which is present in the part A, it does not have carbon dioxide available for it because all the carbon dioxide is reacting to this potassium hydroxide. Whereas in the part B, this plant is having ample amount of carbon dioxide to undergo photosynthesis. So this is clear that one plant is undergoing photosynthesis, another plant is not undergoing photosynthesis. So to test that, what we are going to do is, we are plucking the leaf. We are taking the leaf, and this leaf we are going to test for the starch. So we know that starch is an indicator for the photosynthesis. Means whenever there is photosynthesis occurring in the plants, they store those food materials in the form of starch. So we are performing the starch test to confirm whether the plants have undergone the photosynthesis or not. So here in this test, we are going to do starch test, where we are plucking the leaf and we are performing the starch test using the iodine. So now can you think which plant is having the photosynthetic products? Which plant has starch in them? Part A or part B? Which plant has starch in them? So as you guess, usually part B has the starch because it had the carbon dioxide for it. So as it took the carbon dioxide, because in this part you can see they had carbon dioxide for them. But here in this part, they did not have carbon dioxide because this potassium hydroxide absorbed all the carbon dioxide, not letting the plants to take the carbon dioxide. Therefore, plants are not able to do photosynthesis. So this picture is after this start stage. We can see this picture like this. So in this, we see from the part A, this leaf is not turning into any color, it remains as such, but the blue color indicates the presence of starch in this leaf. So in the part B, there is starch presence here. So when we can see this starch presence in this part B, we can say that this part had carbon dioxide for it. So due to this presence of carbon dioxide, this part B can make the photosynthesis. Okay, so that's why part B had the carbon dioxide to do photosynthesis so that it can make the starch. So what we can conclude from this? In part A, there was no carbon dioxide, so there was no photosynthesis. In part B, there was carbon dioxide, so they are able to perform photosynthesis. And how did we test this presence of how did we test whether there is photosynthesis or no photosynthesis? We did the starch test. As we did the starch test, we identified the part which is undergoing photosynthesis could be able to produce the starch, that is in the part B. So since part B had carbon dioxide available for it, they are able to perform photosynthesis. So that makes the conclusion easy that carbon dioxide is very necessary for making the photosynthesis. Okay, so far we have seen that carbon dioxide is very essential to make the photosynthesis. Okay, coming to the equation, if you see here, so we had formulated the equation. In this equation, the carbon dioxide, that is 6 molecules of carbon dioxide is taken, and also water. How is this water taken? How plants are able to take the water? They are taking the water from the roots. They are absorbing the water from the soil, and they are taking the water from the soil, and they are able to make the soil make the water available for the leaf to the xylem. Xylem is transporting the water from the roots to all parts of the plant. So this water also, which is absorbed in the roots, it is taken up to the leaves by these xylem vessels. So carbon dioxide and water is forming into carbohydrates. These carbohydrates, and these carbohydrates is nothing but it is a source of energy, and it also forms oxygen as a byproduct and water. So we have understood how photosynthesis is performed in the plants, and without any of these raw materials like sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide, they are not able to produce the photosynthesis. So this we have confirmed with the various activities. Besides this, plants they also need other minerals. Like besides this carbon dioxide and water, plants they need other minerals. What kind of other minerals they need for the growth? Okay, like us, like we also eat. If we eat only rice, if we keep on only eating rice, our body won't be healthy. We need other diet materials, we need other minerals, we need other nutrients. So plants also do that same. So they also need other minerals, like they need nitrogen, they need phosphorus, they need iron, they need magnesium, which are all taken from the soil. So most of them are taken from the soil, some of them are taken from the air. So nitrogen is essential, very essential element which is used in the proteins. So all plants they are making the proteins, and we are all needing the proteins. So plants also need proteins. So to make the proteins they need nitrogen. So all the plants to make proteins they need lot of nitrogen, and this nitrogen is present in the soil. So this is taken in the form of inorganic nitrates. So inorganic nitrates, if you remember, organic are usually derived from the living organisms. Inorganic are usually derived from the non-living organisms. So non-living things. So inorganic nitrates, which means they are present in the soil. So inorganic nitrates or nitrites, they are taken from the soil for the plant growth, or it can be taken up as organic compound. So inorganic is derived from the non-living source, whereas organic is derived from the living source. So which have been prepared by the bacteria. Bacteria is a living source. So this organic nitrogen is also is produced by the bacteria, and this bacteria is giving the nitrogen for the plants to make their healthy growth. So plants, they are making the photosynthesis using the carbon dioxide and water, and besides this they also need a lot of minerals for their growth. Example, nitrogen, phosphorus, and then iron, magnesium, other minerals. So this is all about the autotrophic nutrition. So this is a chart which is showing that nutrition, we have certain nutrition, and we have said there are two types of nutrition, autotrophic and then heterotrophic. So we are going to study further about heterotrophic. So in the autotrophic, we know that plants are able to utilize the light energy and then carbon dioxide and water to make the photosynthesis. Using the photosynthesis, plants are able to perform photosynthesis, and they are able to make the food. So what are the other organisms that are able to make photosynthesis? What are the other organisms that are able to make the food? So you are going to find out what are the other organisms which are able to make their food. Okay, so in our next class we are going to see heterotrophic nutrition, and we are going to see what are the different types of heterotrophic nutrition and how organisms obtain their food. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.